Hi, welcome to SFG KatzelKraft. Today I'd like to show you how I did this card. This stamp is actually part of a set by Catswell, and it's called In the Jungle or The Jungle. There's 6 stamps in the set. As you can see, I do multiples. You look to the right of the screen there, I've already stamped one of this monkey. Usually when I do these cards, or any cards for that matter, I usually stamp 4 at a time or more, sometimes more, depends on if I've got any orders for any. And I had trouble deciding what sentiment to put on there, so I made up one of my own. And I wanted him to be hovering above a mat, or appear to be hovering above a mat. So I drew on a little mat just using a triangle that I had, and I can't even remember what the angle of it is. It's just one that came out of a very cheap mathematical set. And I showed up at the start there that I was actually using just the body of a pineapple just to stamp that pattern on the mat. I didn't want it to be plain. I thought I could put stripes on it. I wasn't quite sure what to put on it, but anyway, in the end I decided I would use my pineapple stamp, and I was quite pleased with the way it came out. And then I'm now just filling in some of the little squares or shapes that are on the pineapple. Not quite squares, but they're sort of semi-round, I guess. The colours that I'm using there, I think was the blueprint sketch was the blue, and the pink I believe was Worn lipstick. Okay, I'm just doing the background now. This is Wilted Violet. I come in later on with shaded lilac on the other side, and then I do fossilized amber down the middle, as though it's like a beam of light coming down. Sorry, it just takes, I can talk a little bit faster than what I can actually do, even though it's sped up on the screen. This monkey one, when I actually got this set first, I thought, well, gee, what am I going to do with that monkey? It's such a strange looking thing. And then I thought, well, you know, it looks like it could be hovering. So that's why I've decided to do it the way I've done it. And the sentiment that I came up with there, I used for the words I predict and in your future is actually done with Lawn Fawn's Harold's ABC. The word birthday came out of the Year 2 Lawn Fawn birthday stamp set, which is the one with the little turtle on it. And the happy birthday at the bottom, that came out of an Avery L stamp set, I believe. Okay, this is just putting in the fossilized amber now. I do actually go over it a second time and brighten it up a little bit. It's a little bit dull, but I don't think I show that on screen. I mean, everyone's seen the blending before, and you don't want to sort of see too much of it at any one time. So I'm pretty sure that I do go over all these 3 colours again to brighten them up a little bit more, because the actual end card, I believe the colour is a bit brighter in it. Even there it looks like it's a bit brighter, so I may have put a little bit more colour in there. Okay, just sort of going around covering the whole background. Now the colours that I'm using for the monkey is Tea Dye, Rusty Hinge and Gather to Twig, I believe. And I realised later on, after I'd done this video, that I forgot to paint the monkey's tail. And even in the end photo it's not shown as painted, but never fear, it has been done now. Okay, this is, I think I've actually done a mix of Tea Dye and Rusty Hinge brush mixed, and as I've explained before, all I do is I stamp those 2 colours on my palette off to the side there, side by side, and just run the brush between the 2 colours, like backwards and forwards a couple of times through the 2 colours, and picks up sort of roughly an equal amount of the 2 colours. This is actually probably the shortest video I've ever done, this one. All these 6 animal stamp sets that I've actually, this animal stamp set of the 6 animals, I've done a card for each one, and I thought I might actually start up a new like a mini series, I guess you could say, sort of maybe 1 stamp set, 6 cards. So that's probably what I'll call these 6 cards. I'm not quite sure how to go about doing it as a mini series, but this is what I'll do with this one, and any other stamp sets that I get that I can figure out how to do 6 cards with, I'll put those as part of that mini series as well. I'm just finishing up doing the monkey there now. His face and belly, I come in with a very watered down Worn lipstick for those. I'm actually, sorry, just putting in a little bit of shading there with the Gathered Twig. Yeah, when I saw the stamp set first, I thought, oh, that's a really odd looking little monkey thing. I don't think I'll ever use it. And then when I sort of stamped it out and I sort of had it sitting there for a few days after I'd already done all the other 5 cards, and I thought, I know what I can do. He looks like he's hovering. I'll put this, made up the sentiment to put on it. And without having that Harold's ABC, I would never have been able to do this. Otherwise, I would have to have printed it on the computer and put it on there, stuck it on there. But as it is, I wanted to have this, all these cards, I wanted them to be flat, as in single layer. So this is what I've come up with. I've also, on this one, I don't know if I actually showed it on there, but I also, after it was all finished, I actually put a dot of Glaze pen, the black Sakura matte, Glaze pen, into the eye, and then I put the glossy accents over it. And here I am coming in with the worn lipstick for the belly, just to get it's a very, very watered down sort of, there's not much colour there basically, it's just watered down. What am I doing here now? Oh, the feathers. The first feather is, I don't know why I had the wilted violet there in my hand then, because I didn't do wilted violet. I put in for the first feather I actually put the worn lipstick. The second 2 feathers I've put the wilted violet. The next pair of feathers I've put the blueprint sketch, and then the last pair of the little feathers on the sides I've used Lucky Clover. I mean, you could probably use any colours. I weren't specifically wanting to put rainbow colours or anything on these. If I had, I would have started from left to right and gone rainbow. I just wanted them to look sort of brightly coloured and all different, well, in pairs. So that's what I've done there. There's also, you can't really tell there, but there's underneath the middle of the big feather, right underneath it, just above his head, there's actually like a third eye sitting there, and I just painted that in yellow. I didn't do anything special with that. I had sort of thought briefly for a moment to maybe put the glossy accents on that as well, but I didn't. So that's just sitting there. So really, other than that, there's really not a lot to tell about this card. I've never bothered to put any sentiments inside because I have an outlet where I actually do sell some of these cards, and I just make them all blank inside, so it just makes it easier for when I'm packaging them. So that's all I do. And I do put a little bit of cheeks on, I think, like, although I can't see it on the card. On here I'm just putting like a shadow underneath him to enhance the fact that he is hovering. Hopefully it looks like he's hovering anyway. So, and that's pretty much the panel done. As I said, a very quick card. There wasn't much speeding. The whole card from start to finish probably only took me around about 20 minutes. That was deciding what to put as far as the sentiment and everything goes. So if you like this, please subscribe and click the like box, and we'll be back soon with more. Thank you. Bye.